Oh, there we go. There's the bell. All right. Okay, all right. So let's get started. The bell just rang, so let's get started. Have a seat. All right. Take your notebooks out. I'm gonna come around, check the homework. All right. Make sure you show me the keyword. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right. Okay. So go ahead, do the do now. I'll press pause and then I'll check back with you in a moment. Okay. All right. So here we are. All right. So now look at the equation. Right now, I kind of took two things and combined them into this into one question. So the question is something like, what are the two things I've combined, right? What are the two topics I've used for this? Okay, and needless to say, all right, the first thing I want to see is this, because what I've been doing with you guys, at least for a little bit, for the last, what, 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, is something like this. If I show you, right, would you be able to solve it? And you would, because you would multiply this by the reciprocal. Okay, so these cancels out, and then you'll be left with the answer, right? So here is the same thing. You would have to multiply both sides by 2.5 over 1, right? These cancels out. That's A. And that's 3.5 times 2.5, right? So again, you would... Now, I was just about to say line up the decimals. No, you don't line up the decimals, right? So you multiply them, count at the end, all right, to save a little bit of time. What's the answer? Yeah, 9.375. Okay, because there are three decimal places here, right? 1, 2, 3, and that's it. There you have it. All right, that's the answer. Okay, all right. So Unit 7, Day 14. All right, this is the date. Homework tonight, same place. Okay. I'm also wondering. Okay, I'm curious if you do you want me to, because I believe. All right, I got to try this out. I believe that if I, on the website on Problematic, it can actually show you what your score is, um, after immediately after you do your homework. And I'm wondering if you want that. Now, part of my thinking is that, in that sense, you'll get feedback immediately, even though, I mean, the homework video itself does that, because I've been going over every question in the homework, right? However, doing it with from Problematic, it's a faster like feedback, right? But the thing I worry about is that people are going to, like, if they got a bad score, if they got like a 60, I have a feeling some of you are going to like reattempt to do it, which technically isn't a problem, but but when you when that comes back to me, I'm gonna get multiple entries under your name, and so that means at any point in time, I might have to grade like what, like 60 homework. I mean, 160 homeworks instead of 130, or looking at 200 entries. Okay, so that might not work. Okay, anyways, uh, again, watch the full YouTube videos. Okay, and here's today. Let's talk about the Q&A. All right, hold on. I gotta pause real quick. I gotta get some water. So before I start, I just realized I took like 10 minutes in the video yesterday going over the Q&A, okay? Which, I mean, it's a long time, certainly, but I figured, it's a good way to get some information out and to answer your questions, okay? So, all right, okay. Again, regarding attendance issues, okay, in about a week, at the end of this week, I'm gonna take a look at who's been attending the classes, meaning doing the homework, really, and who isn't, and then I'm gonna send a list to the the vice principals, assistant principals in the school to tell them who hasn't been doing the work, and then maybe they'll get in touch with the students who aren't doing the work. Okay. So for now, again, like I said yesterday, we'll do homework 5 times a week. The Friday homework has no video. Okay, because I'm really still pursuing the school policy of 4 homeworks a week. So no videos. The Friday homework is just one question. Okay, you can just again go on and do it, and that counts as attendance. Okay, so let's do it like that. All right, it's the best way I could kind of work around the attendance issue. Again, try to do it on the day that's assigned. Again, it's okay to make up homework, of course, and I can see your submission, and because there's a timestamp alongside with the date. Okay, so if for any reason you can't do it on that day, just make it up. Okay, don't sweat it too much. Okay, you know me. I got an email yesterday. Someone emailed me their notes. Not sure why. I never said anything about that. So don't email me your notes. Okay, I'm not gonna go through your notebook. I don't see what the point of that would be. Okay, and that doesn't count as attendance. Okay, so don't email me your notes. Don't email me your homework. Just do it online. Okay, if you have the wherewithal to email me your notes, then you have the wherewithal to go online and actually do the homework. Okay, got an email this morning. Someone asking me about the Google Classroom code. I'm not using Google Classroom, so there's no code. All right, so for your other classes, you're gonna have to ask your other subject teachers. If you want me to slow down the lessons, let me know. Now, I don't even know why I wrote that, even though I only wrote it yesterday. All right. If I'm going too fast, oh, I know now. If the lesson itself, not how fast I talk or how slow I talk, that's not the point. If I'm packing too much information into one lesson, you have to tell me. All right? Because sometimes with this online thing where I'm shooting one video each day, I can try to jam too much information into one session. Whereas in school, like I get stopped by the bell. You know what I'm saying? Like the bell stops me from going like too fast. Whereas online, I could talk and talk for like an hour. So, and that's not good. Okay, I don't want to do that. So if I'm going too fast, if I'm jamming too much information in one lesson, tell me. Okay. All right. I got another email yesterday asking me if other teachers are gonna tell your other teachers gonna check your work, or if they are gonna all check your work. I don't know. All right. You know how I'm checking work for math class. I don't know about your other teachers. You have to either go through their. Well, I mean, I think you should check your own email, the K051 email. You would probably have an email from all your subject teachers, and then you just go into the emails and follow the directions there. Okay. All right. What a video lessons review. Oh, yeah. So you know how over the course of the year, I've been going online and doing video lessons, right? Like the ones that I do, the really long ones that I do, that you guys can use to review, and I put it in a playlist. Let me see if I have the playlist. I don't have the playlist. Okay, all right. So yeah, those videos are still publishing, so don't get those confused with what we're doing right now. Okay, these are just our regular classroom lessons. These lessons, all right, are like super jam packed with information, because some of these are like a lot of them are 20-minute long videos, right? So I would compare that to this. All right, you can still watch them if you want to, but the lessons that I'm doing now, imagine they're like a can of tomato sauce. All right, and they're like tomato paste. They're like super concentrated. Okay, all right. I don't know if you guys know that reference, but it's all right. Okay. Lastly, I got an email from someone yesterday saying that I made a mistake here. Okay, this last one here. Have you noticed? All right, and he was the only one that pointed it out. So when I multiply 0.32 on both sides, somehow I did 3.2. It should be 0.32. Now the answer was still 7.04, but I made a huge mistake there. Okay, so in one sense, you know, I'm kind of frustrated with the fact that I keep making mistakes still. But on the other hand, I was really happy. I was like, oh, people are paying attention when they watch these videos. So I was actually quite happy with that. Okay. All right. So at this time, you can go ahead and watch Gudetama. And so press pause, watch your one Gudetama for the day. And then when you're back, we will start the lesson. Okay? All right. Okay, all right, and we're back. Now we're still, so I believe this is the lesson from what, not last Thursday, 2 Thursdays ago now. All right. So this was when people start to become absent. All right. Or they were staying at home. So if you weren't in school on that particular day, this is more what? This is more relevant to you. Okay. So let's see, what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So hold on, I lost my train of thought for a second. I was thinking about something else that made me kind of upset this morning. And I can't tell you right now. Well, not that I'm going to tell you ever. So let's see. Yeah. So and then the Friday before, right? You were out of school entirely for last week, was the tic-tac-toe, and we're not going to be able to do tic-tac-toe. All right, that's just. I mean, I really wish, you know. I really wish, you know, I really wish I was like really good at computer programming and developing. I could actually turn that tic-tac-toe game into like an online game where you're playing against a computer. Okay. So, okay, all right. Let's move on. So today's lesson, we're going to talk about one-step equations except with word problems. Now, if you go to the blog, right? So this is the keyword chart. So if you want to go ahead and open this link now, go ahead and do it. Now so this link looks different than this. And the reason why is that, I mean, first of all, this link is like really good because it not only gives you these keywords, but it also tells you how they look like in word problems, which is just, like, I think it's magnificent. All right, whoever did that. But in order to save space, I had to use these. Okay, so the words are the same. I mean, the words don't really change by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, it's up to you if you want to print it out. If you want to just leave it on your laptop to use over the course of the week, you're more than welcome to. Okay, all right. So let's go over some keywords here. Okay, so now I let me time. How are we doing on time? I don't want to take up all your time. We're okay. All right, so 13 minutes. So let's see. Okay, all right. So what are some keywords for addition? All right, all together. Right, that's a big one. Make this a little thinner. Combine, I guess. Don't how much? Don't go with how much. Okay. Increase by, yep. Sum and total. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's change colors here. What about this? Decrease by, right? Difference. Fewer. Left. Okay, I don't want to be one of those people who highlights like everything. Okay. By the way, guys. Okay, here's the segment. Mr. Putting money in your pocket. When you're in high school and when you're in college, you're gonna do a lot of reading, especially in college. You're gonna do an insane amount of reading. Okay. Two things. First of all, if you're gonna highlight, like, this is what I see when people, like, sometimes I'm on the train and I see high school students and I see college students and they're like highlighting stuff, right? Like in a book, they go like this. Like, what's the point of this? You're highlighting everything. Just read the whole thing over then. I mean, there's no point, all right? Second, I'm going to tell you now, highlighting doesn't help you remember anything. Because highlighting highlighting just tells you that like you know how to use a highlighter. Okay, so instead of using highlighting, what you really need to do is if you're reading like a really like thick textbook, at the end of every chapter, here's what you do. You simply, at the end of every chapter, you simply write a very short summary. I know it's more work, but do you want to remember something or do you just want to like pretend that you're doing something? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of every chapter, write a 1 paragraph summary of what it is. Trust me, like I do that for every book I read. So it's gonna help you a lot with actually retaining the information. So you don't have to read it again, right? Isn't that the point? Okay, all right. Anyways, what happened? What just happened here? Okay, so let's keep it going. All right. So there's your Mr. Ing putting money in your pocket moment. Okay, all right. So I mean less than, I guess. Okay, all right. Not okay. All right. Moving on. Multiplication words. You guys already know, right? By, of. Okay. Product. I mean, you won't see that in an actual word problem all that much. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Lastly, let's see. As much. No. Sharing. Okay. Yeah. Do they have split? They don't have split here. Okay. Quotient. Let's use split because I'm gonna tell you now today, you're gonna see that word a lot in your word problems. Okay, and pardon my handwriting, I got a new desk for doing these lessons and the desk is kind of small, so I have to put the drawing pad on the side. So it's gonna affect my writing for the time being. Okay, all right. So look at these examples. All right, we're gonna do one by one together. So there's 7 questions here. Let's see, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I got 7 questions here. So we'll go over these and then I'll let you practice, okay? Let's see how we're doing in time. Yeah, we're okay. We're okay. All right, good. So let's see. Now let's see. Rob is cooking a cake, all right? Please use baking, okay? Let's not cook a cake, all right? Let's bake them. All right, the recipe calls for 9 cups of flour, okay? He already put in 3 cups. How many more does he need to put in? Guys, I'm gonna tell you now, all right? Because some of you missed this lesson. You're thinking that's an equation, right? Because you're thinking, well, I got a variable, and right here, I'm gonna get an answer. Just gonna tell you this now, not an equation. Because an equation is something that has to be solved. You're not really solving anything here. That's the problem, right? Because what you want to do is, because like you didn't need to write x in order to get the answer. So why bother writing the x? So think of another way, right? Where you would subtract at the end. Think about that. How would you write an equation that would have you subtract at the end? Now I'm going to give you a hint. On the left side, there should be an x, right? So think about that. What would ask you, what equation could you write that would ask you to subtract? And not only that, will give you 6 at the end. Yeah, that's right. The recipe calls for a total of 9 cups. He has 3 cups already. How many more cups? By the way, if we don't finish today, it's fine, okay? I'm going to cut the lesson at the time that I promise, okay? And then we'll just continue tomorrow. How many cups? That's what the X stands for, right? So now, another thing is, I don't know a lot of teachers say this, but so I'll say it to you. When you're writing an equation, it should tell you a story. Because what an equation does is it takes all of this stuff, all this information in words, and put it into an algebraic form. That's all it is. Okay? So if you take away like words like rob, cake, recipe, flour, all that stuff, it just everything you need to know about this story boils down to this algebraic sentence. So what do I mean, right? How many cups plus another 3 cups already will give you 9 total cups. Okay, that's it. So you can subtract. All right, nothing crazy. Cancel 6. 6 what? 6 cups. And that's it. Okay? All right. By the way, again, it's okay to, again, tomorrow, today, after you watch this, if you have a question, just email me or put a comment in my blog. Just say, hey, Mr. Ring, I didn't get number 1. Can you explain how you got that again? Okay? Perfectly fine. Okay. Number 2. Mary wants to buy a sled for $105. She gives the, okay, all right. So write the equation then. Again, I know what some of you are doing. You're very tempted to write this. Right? Again, not an equation. Okay? So let's write it in this manner then, right? So let's say you start with x, right? You know there's an equal sign, so now you just got to fill out some stuff. Yeah? Okay, so Mary wants to buy a sled for $105, right? So she gave cashier a total of $200, right? So the money, so the question is something like this. The sled plus the change, right? So this is the change. And when I say change, I mean money, right? Money change, right? So the change plus the sled. Okay, I gotta tell you, teaching this for the second time has made me do a better job of doing this. Okay, all right. And that's the money she gave, right? That's the total money. So the question is, what's the change, right? I mean, it literally is, right? What's the change? So you subtract 105, right, from both sides, and there you go, $95. Okay, all right. Okay, so far so good. Okay, if you guys got both right, you're doing a fantastic job. Okay, as I usually say, all right, it's word questions, word problems. You know, there I understand some of you are very hesitant and have your understandably apprehension with doing this, but it's not as hard as you think. Okay, all right. 3. How many boxes of cereal can you buy with $15 if one box costs 5? Okay, all right, so now I'm kind of switching gears, right? So let's say X stands for boxes of cereal. So one of the things I want to also encourage you to think is always ask yourself, like, hey, what are they actually asking for? What are they looking for from me? Okay, so $5 per box. How much for $15? Right, I know what you're thinking, right? Because you're thinking this, right? And X is 3. So my challenge for you is, can you write this as an equation where you have to divide and the answer is still 3? And that's the equation, right? Because it's like 5 times what gives you 15. That means I gotta divide. X equals 3 boxes. Okay? All right. Next. Lisa and her best friend found some money in an envelope. They split the money evenly, each getting $25. All right. Let's see. Okay. Now split. Look back at the chart. All right. Look at your chart. Go to the other tab. Right. Split. What operation was that? Yeah, division, right? So if you, so again, some of you are writing this, right? I gotta stop doing this at some point, but right, you think, okay, you each got 25. There's 2 of you. How much money total? But again, not really an equation. So you split the money between 2 friends, and that turns out to be 25 each. How much originally did you find? Right. So that's the story. You found this money in an envelope. You split between two people. Now you got 25 each. Okay? So you do that, right? Nothing new. $50. Okay. All right. Let's see. Norwich ran 9. Oh, this one. These are good. These are really good questions. Okay, so let me see what's the best way I can explain this. Okay? All right, now, first of all, in these questions, you're going to notice, I don't know if you noticed, these two questions are the same kind of questions, okay? So I did that on purpose. So Norwich ran 9.7 miles less than Perry. So, first of all, you got to figure out what's the question asking for. What's the question asking for? Right, Perry, right? So I'm going to use P for Perry. You got to, so with names, so this is what I want to say. When people use questions where they're two different people, that's when it gets, I don't know, gets kind of tricky, at least for me, okay? Maybe not for you, because you guys are like a pretty smart bunch. But for me, I always have to like figure out who the person is, because otherwise I'm going to go crazy, like staring at this. Okay, let's see. Perry, so Norwich ran. Now, Norwich ran 13.8 miles. So that's at the end of the equation here. Okay? And here you got Perry, right? Now, Norwich ran 9.7 miles less than Perry. Now, how do you, if you just look at this, how do you write this down here? Just for this, just for the left side of the equation. Yeah, 9.7 less than Perry, right? 9.7 less than Perry, which is 13.8. So in other words, think about this, okay? I just came up with this. I was going to say this is brilliant, but maybe it's not because I've been doing this for a long time. Both of these is Norwich actually. Right? Think about this. Norwich ran 13.8 miles. That's what this is talking about. But then Norwich also ran 9.7 miles less than Perry, right? Norwich ran 9.7 miles less than Perry. These two are saying the same thing, but in a way that makes sense. Why? Yeah, these are equations, right? Of course they're equal, okay? So hopefully that makes sense that this is a story, okay? So what's the story? Norwich ran 9.7 miles less than Perry, which is what Norwich ran, which is 13.8 miles. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Now you solve it. What's the answer? Let's do it real quick. Let's see. Cancels out. What is that? 0.7, 15, 9 plus 13 is 22, 23 miles. Okay, all right. How are we doing on time? Yeah, okay, all right, we're on target. That's good. Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, all right. May ran 30. Now, why don't you do this? Why don't you pause real quick? Okay. By the way, I switched my operations to another room in the house, and now it's the unfortunately the room is right across the street from a 24-hour supermarket. So there's gonna be a lot of trucks and all that stuff going on. Okay. All right. If you want, try this one, press pause, all right? I'll go over it with you. Okay, all right, and we're back. So May ran, okay, so first of all, ask yourself, who are they looking for? Yes, Kim. So they're looking for Kim, okay? So May ran 30, now I know K is gonna be on this side, right? Okay, May ran 30.5 miles less than Kim. So this is May. This is actually May. So May ran less than Kim. How many less? 30.8 less, right? And May ran 17.3 miles. Okay, does that make sense, right? That's the story, right? May ran 17.3 miles, which is 30.8 miles less than Kim. All right, makes perfect sense here. So you solve it. Okay, again, my handwriting is, I'm trying to write fast. So, let's see, 0.1. Okay, I can't even see my handwriting anymore. 17 plus 30, that's 47, 48. 48.11 miles. Okay, so I hope that helps. Okay, all right, let's see. All right, how are we doing on time? Okay, all right, we got like 10 minutes essentially. Okay, all right, so Kayla was given 11:47 for walking the dog. She now has, okay, all right. So she now has 22.7, right? 0.27. She was given, someone gave her money, right? So how much did she have to begin with? And then you get the answer, okay? You know what I'm gonna do? To save time, I'm just gonna write the equations, okay? Because that's more important. Like we spent all yesterday doing this and the day before, so okay. All right. So straight. Oh, this one's good. A stray dog ate 28 of your muffins. That's a lot of muffins. That was 7/10 of all of them! Exclamation mark. How many are left? So think about this. What's the keyword here? Think about that. Right? What keyword will tell you what operation to use? Yeah, of 7/10 of all your muffins equates to 28 of your muffins. Okay, and then you solve it now. Real quick, how do you solve it? Right, like this, okay? That's why we did the do now today. All right, whatever that is. Okay, next. Your grandma gave you $1.62 with which to buy a present. This covers 2/3 of the cost. Okay, right, why don't you try, write the equation. Yeah, 2/3 of the cost is $1.62, which is, I mean, listen, that sounds like very little money, my friends. Okay, all right. So 2/3 of the cost is 162. So how do you solve it? Right, multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, like that, and then whatever that is. Let me use a parentheses. Okay, all right, okay, all right. Now let's practice. So press pause. How are we doing on time here? We're okay. All right, yeah. I guess we have enough time. Okay, so press pause. All right. Try these 7 questions on your own. I'll tell you what. If it's taking you a little bit of time to solve the equation, I'll give you 2 options. You can take a little more time on your own and actually solve the equation. So press pause and solve the equations. All right. But in order to fit in the time, and should you choose to, like if you're saying, you know what, I know how to solve equations now, okay, then just write the equations down. Don't solve it. Okay. So I'll give you those 2 options. So press pause and then we'll come back. Okay, all right. So hopefully you gave yourself about 8 to 10 minutes to do this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the eraser to reveal the answer. Okay, here's what I mean. Oh, there we go. Look at that. All right. Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right. So that's the first one. That's the equation. Okay. Again, feel free to ask me any of these questions in an email. Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right. So this is the equation. And the answer, okay, the answers are here, all right? Now, I gotta tell you, this one, when I saw this question, it made me crack up, okay? Like, please don't go looking for stuff inside a trash can, okay? All right, so, all right. Here's the equation. Here's the answer. Okay, and then what was the next one? Yep. So this one, I put it there on purpose to see if you still know how to write this. All right, there's the answer. And this one, oops, there's the equation and answer. All right, again, if I made a mistake, let me know, okay? Oh, oops, I gotta finish that one. Okay, all right, Hungry Elf ate 12 of your muffins. All right. So here's the equation. There's the answer. By the way, this means 2/3 m. Okay, I couldn't write that in the laptop like that. And then here's the last one. Okay. So yeah, that's it. All right. Yeah, how are we doing on time? Okay, not bad. All right. So yeah, that's it. Okay. Thanks for watching. Good job. You can pack up now, and but you know, stay in your seats and wait for the bell. Okay. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Oh, there we go. There's the bell. All right. Don't tell me you don't miss that bell.
OMG, that was so good.